Alright, good evening everyone, welcome aboard once again. Hello to those of you viewing at home. We are roleINC and we will be rolling through Wild Space once again with our Astral Agents and Boats campaign. I'm Kiwi, your friendly rat bastard GM, and let me introduce you to the crew. Agent Kabuki, introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Kabuki. I'm playing Axel, the Leonin barbarian, who's awesome, by the way. That's his jar, but he was actually a human at one point, so see what happens tonight.
Beautiful. Agent Goonie, introduce yourself.
Hi, Goonie reporting in. I will be playing the role of Ace, a former Lost Boy who was a half-elf, now finding himself far away from everything he ever knew, and a Githyanki body. Just learning how to make this work.
Beautiful. Agent Wynn, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Wynn, and I am playing the insensate, collapsed body of a bug person who, if their mind was not cast to the five ends of oblivion, would be the mind of a wizard elf trapped inside of that collapsed chitinous husk.
Excellent. And Agent Boggs, introduce yourself.
Greetings and salutations, I am Boggs, and I am playing Astral, the Shadarkai bounty hunter, stuck inside of an Aarakocra of unknown origins.
Beautiful.
On the last episode, in Totally Not a Race, our cadets found themselves in a tangle of electric space eels on board an illusory spelljammer. The cadets performed some totally sweet turns, only to be copycatted by McKevin and Vina's crew, following closely behind them until Dr. Carey cleverly dodged out of the way and threw the pursuing ship into an asteroid, sending Vina and others flying off the deck into wild space. From the crow's nest, Ace spotted the captain's log floating amidst the wreckage in wild space. Axel did not think before he leapt overboard, tied to rope, to retrieve the prized logbook without tying the other end of the rope to the boat. Ace's quick thinking, phase step, and Zomenius's muster of the ghostly crew resulted in a brilliant retrieval operation despite McKevin's last-ditch effort to copy Ace's misty step and snatch victory. McKevin misjudged the chaotic gravity fields of the wreckage. Our cadets watched McKevin spiral helplessly off into wild space while returning to the boat, safe and sound.
I'm gonna lose them and throw me at the boat. No!
After outrunning a Githyanki pirate squid ship, the Totally Not a Race was won. However, just as the simulation ended, an electrical explosion tore through the simulation chamber, striking tutors and trainee alike with deadly force.
The door to the simulation chamber opened, sending a ripple of lightning throughout the chamber into the two tutors, Bosun Tarto and Serith, but then spreading out through all the students present within the chamber. Saving throws were made. Update us on your status.
As mentioned in my clever introduction, I'm crumpled on the ground in a heap.
With Axel's danger sense, he was able to sense the incoming blast before it hit him. He was able to dodge somewhat out of the way and only took partial damage. He's pretty good. He's in pretty good shape.
The same with Ace. I was able to do a quick tumble barrel roll out of the way, but I did catch some of that lightning, and now I'm feeling a little singed, a little tingly, not in a great mood.
So during the flight, Estria had some issues with a sparking in the back of the base of her skull. And there was a moment that Estria warned everyone that something was genuinely wrong. From that point onwards, Estria's involvement in the flight was limited, as though she'd been left in a semi-dazed state. With the ending of the simulation, Estria was also caught in the lightning blast, However, she has withstood the worst of it, and although finds herself wounded, is conscious. Dr. Carey lies on the floor, as do Sereth and Tarto. None of their bodies are moving. Time is obviously of the essence, so although we won't be rolling initiatives, so to speak, time is of the essence, so you have as many actions as you would have in a round to solve this before the accident becomes lethal.
Astria, coming to her senses, is probably going to look around and be like, "Wait, this is a predicament." She's going to see the person she knows is capable of, like, healing and helping people on the ground unconscious, and she's just going to look at that and be like, and she's gonna flap her wings and, like, sprint over to Dr. Carey, and she's going to use Cure Wounds on her. For a healthy 5 health.
That will solve that. Ace and Axel still see two of the tutors lying on the ground, clearly their lives in danger. Dr. Carey's coming too.
Axel's gonna see the bosun on the ground laying down as well. He's gonna run over there with his bandolier of potion. He's gonna pull one out and try to pour it in the bosun's mouth.
Tardo splutters, swallows down the magical liquid, and her eyes begin to clear, and she comes to with a groan of pain as she becomes aware now of the terrible damage that her body's obviously sustained. Burn marks visible all along her arms where she pushed the door open and took the worst of the impact all the way up to her shoulders. But she's alive.
While all that's happening, Ace, I will scramble to my feet, reach in my back, pull another healing potion. That seemed to work out great for Bosun and Axel. So I'll, get to Serth as quick as I can, pop the cork out, spit it, cradle his head, and be like, "Come on, you're too pretty to die," and pour the potion down his mouth.
As he also coughs and splutters back to consciousness, you see some of the terrible burn marks along one side of his beautiful face that has marred his smooth, flawless skin. You can imagine that might be permanent damage that Sereth has sustained. But he is alive, and the first thing he does is grab hold of your forearms and thank you. What was Dr. Carey feeling as the bolts hit and she lost consciousness, and she also is infused with life-saving magic?
As she rises, I think it's just pure confusion, with a little bit of righteous outrage, because we were about to be congratulated for winning, and then we were horrendously in an attempted assassination. So they sort of stole our thunder. So she is shaking and confused and somewhat outraged, and she, what is happening? She sort of looks around. Is there an obvious danger to us right now? Is the lightning still sparking?
No, there are some sparks still rippling around the wall. They seem to be the dying remainder of energy trapped within ruins. But the danger seems over. You have survived what you just called an assassination attempt, and clearly this was. Go ahead.
We need to get out. We need to get out of here. Where's the? Is Mr. Wolf? Mr. Wolfman? Is he? Are we in danger? Do we need to defend again? He needed us last time. And she sort of staggers. She scrambles with all her weird four arms, bracing each other and standing up all awkwardly, ready for moving, ready for action.
Okay. Tardo also struggles to her feet, and begins to try and help Sirth to his feet. The bosun looks from one of you to the other, sees that you're all still standing, and says, I'll have the medics come. I'll carry Sirth, but something's gone on here. There's certainly something to be found. Can I trust you to not let anyone else into this room while no officer is here? It could be a crime scene.
Of course. Wait, what happened? But what about Kevin? And Carrie wants to look over to where the other ship.
You would have to kind of
sat down on their helms.
Yeah, you could look out the door down the hall across the room to the other room if you wanted.
Oh, they had a separate room. All right, so we don't know. So the other team, are they all right?
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Would you check on them? Sirth seems badly burnt. We can't let his face be marred. It would be a tragedy.
Crime. Is this something that another team would have been capable of? Could this have been? Surely not.
Vita.
But I mean, is this something that happens in like a Spelljammer battle?
This is not something that happens. Please,
Okay.
do not let anyone come and interfere with things here, so we can find anything that might be left behind.
Got it.
But Dr. Carey, if you could attend to the other crew, that in case they need help, that they might be in danger. You're quite right.
Of course, presently.
With that,
Brush yourself
Tardo
off.
and Sirth kind of limp swiftly to try and activate a medical team to be brought here. What does each of you, as the room is left alone, the smell of smoke still within the room, what do each of you do while you're left alone in this potential crime scene?
Axel's gonna look at Dr. Carey and say, Do you want my help, or do you want me to guard the door?
I think I think we might need all the help we can get if they're dealing with the same thing we are. Yeah, no, we can put. Carrie sort of looks around desperately for her bug. She sort of looks. She's pat. You can see her pat her body all over. Bug is there, but it's not. So she summons it over. She says, "I can station Mr. Creeper over here, and he can watch this door, and then I can have an eye here while we go somewhere else if we're worried about that."
Will your little bug be able to stop anyone from entering?
No, well, they might step on him and sort of goo will get over their feet. No, that we shouldn't rely on him for that. But at least we'll know when we need to come back.
I
pretty
tell
quick.
you what. Oh, you want to do that? I was gonna say I could do that, Ace. But if you are offering,
I mean, yeah, I could make it between the two pretty fast, I think, but I could accompany Carrie while we leave somebody here with a little more muscle, maybe.
I was thinking I
I'll
could do
stay.
that because I'm a mixture of muscle and speed. And worst case scenario, I can, run away, get you guys, and keep myself alive a little bit.
Yeah.
Seems a fair middle ground to me.
Sounds good to me. Everyone's okay? We're all still breathing, yeah?
Oh, and one more thing. And then Estria is going to use her second of 3 spell slots to cast Goodberry.
Nice.
And she's going to give Dr. Carey 3. And then she's going to give Carrie 4, and then the rest of us are each going to get 2.
What are you saying?
You see that Zemenius kind of like
Ah, shit, I forgot about him.
staggers backwards and kind of like sits down and says, I don't think I will be going anywhere. I will quite like to sit here for a moment or two.
Estria's going to kneel down to Zominius and say, "Tell you what, partner," and she's going to hand him one of her good berries and say, "You need this in a pinch. Don't hesitate."
Ah, marvelous. I do love a good berry. And he puts it in his most convenient pocket.
Oh, those rich people always with their 20 pockets.
Well, you are all wearing the red onesies with the red cap, unfortunately, so you're all in the similar conditions. Okay, so Estria's running to go and check out the other room to inform you guys what's happening. Is that correct? Did I understand that correctly? Or are you going? You're going. Several of you are going to check it out.
Or wait, was I? I think I might have been staying at the door.
Oh, you're staying at the door as a guard. Okay.
I think we are going.
Yeah.
And the other three are going to the other room. Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah.
All right. As you approach, there's murmuring. Does anyone have a perception of? You don't have perceptions of 15, do you? Passive.
No.
So.
We're all
It's
shit.
just
I
murmuring.
do.
And when you walk into the chamber, the door is actually ajar. You can see the burn marks along the door as well. Immediately, you can smell the smoke. But there is a conversation, and it has a tone of an uplifting tone, almost like relief and almost some backslapping that you can hear, kind of going on. But you stand in front of this ajar door. No one is aware that you're listening at the moment. Are you going in, or are you eavesdropping at the door?
Yeah, no, I think Carrie would at least sort of put her arms out and pull up. I just think she was sort of running just a step or two ahead. So
I would want to listen. Yeah, Ace is very.
Okay, make those perception checks then. See if you can hit that 15.
Ooh, that's a 22.
Beautiful.
Leaning in, up next to Carrie.
Out in the hallway, Axel's just kind of like looking back and forth, kind of like trying to keep watch over his guys and make sure no one's like coming up behind us or anything while they eavesdrop.
You do get the view of the last view down the hall as Sirth and Bosun Tardo kind of limping off as quickly as they can, arm in arm. So you do see them head off down to wherever the medical team might be. So you're not rolling, Win, for Dr. Carey? You just stopped your run?
sorry, I did the thing. No, I didn't realize you both were. I guess I might as well. Perception is that one? Nope. Oh boy, yep, I made things worse. There we go. I have rolled a 16 plus 0. That gets me over the threshold. Sweet.
Lovely. Okay.
You can see her hand on the door like she was. She knows the honest thing to do is press it and open, but she just keeps it there. She doesn't press it further. She just listens.
With that little gap in the door, there's enough angle to catch the words. You're not so bad. Four Eyes. You did good. Yeah, you did good, Four Eyes. Thanks, Four Eyes. Oh, that was amazing. Like, that was so close. Like, I saw my life flash before my eyes. Please call me McKevin, not Four Eyes. Yeah, shut up, Four Eyes. You're still Four Eyes, but you did good. You saved us, and we forgive you for messing up on the mission. Like, you were gonna pay you really badly for that, but this was good. You did good. And you're hearing the literal kind of like pats on shoulders kind of going on.
Carrie has 2 hands over her heart and a 3rd hand over her mouth. Just, is so beautiful.
Do you want to go in, or is that enough? Have you heard enough?
She's trying to. If Ace shows any inclination to go in, she would try to hold him back.
I was about to say, yeah, I'm gonna bust in, but okay.
There's a scuffle then.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Just give him a minute or two.
The next voice is Vina, who says, something clearly has gone wrong here. This can't be normal. We could literally have died. I swear, like, I got burned, like, not much, but I got burned. It hurts. I need a doctor or something, because did the machine, the artifact, like, blow up? What happened?
Oh, this is the time. And Carrie started to push the door open. She makes a big show. Oh, I swear, are you all right? Wait, our other room, it exploded.
Everyone spins around. Deathly silence as they look at you guys. And I guess they notice that there are some visible wounds on you guys as well, and there's a little bit like of closing eyes, like trying to figure out what's going on. Why are you busting into the room?
Did the lightning come here? The lightning.
You had lightning too? You had that as well?
It exploded, almost killed. I don't know if I should say, it almost killed all of us.
Oh, we could have died if it wasn't for Four Eyes. Like, he went to open the door.
You mean McKevin? You mean McKevin?
Yeah.
Did you? That was a cool move, by the way. Did you see how I did that?
McKevin's like looking right at Ace, and he says with like a deadpan face, I thought we were friends. You left me.
Yeah, we're friends. Well, no, I knew you were capable.
Friends don't leave friends in wild space.
Oh, no, you're misunderstanding. I know how capable you are. It was a test of your abilities. We said we believed in you. I knew you'd get out of that. Easy for somebody like you.
You let me
with all your magic.
Die. That's not cool. And the group kind of look at McKevin, they're like, yeah, that's totally not cool. They all kind of like fold their arms and stick together like a gang.
But did you see how...
Time for a rap battle.
Did you see how our team, when I jumped out and when Axel jumped out, our team rallied and pulled us in? Where was your team?
Vina's like, we need to go and tell someone about this. We don't need to talk about what the team were doing, okay?
Already on it. We're already on it. Don't worry. Just catch your breaths.
They kind of look uncomfortable with your presence, and everyone just kind of goes quiet, staring uncomfortably at you guys.
Are there any other ways out or places where we may need to check if someone else has been zapped, or are these just the two big simulation chambers?
At the moment, there are 3 simulation rooms, but it was only the 2 of you currently, the 2 teams.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So there's no. Okay. Well, I am glad your team survived, and I compliment your performance in our simulation. Carrie will turn.
Yes. Congratulations on second place. If everyone here will go back to our own room.
Out in the hallway, Axel's kind of like waiting for them. When he comes back, he's like, are they okay? What happened?
Well, Venus is still a jerk, but they're alive.
They came together as a team. And they're alive.
All right, let's go.
You have about 5 minutes of time before the medical team will arrive to tend to your wounds and patch you up. You are currently in the beginning of what would be effectively a short rest. Is there anything you want to do before the medical team arrive within the chamber where you are together?
No one gave us a grade.
Not currently, no.
They should keep records or something. We should be able to see what grade we got.
Well, we won, and
Well, they said
Come on, that's what
that
matters.
we should think that it wasn't. I mean, I know we're the winners, but that's not all that matters.
That's what they tell people, so the losers don't get upset.
I don't think I have anything of consequence I want to do.
Yeah, I don't either.
I think once everyone would have gone to check up on like the other team, Esther kind of would have like looked at the little bug thing and been like, "Squeal if anybody comes," and she's just gonna start investigating the room.
Okay.
You
can
get some weird chittering
make an
and rubbing of
investigation check or a perception
hands.
check.
Okay. Roll the perception. That is a medium 10.
The burn marks around the room all seem to stem from the door, making you think that the door, or whoever came through the door, was perhaps meant to be the recipient of the electrical charge that was sent out. As far as you have seen with the simulations, the ones who have always been opening, closing, coming in, coming out, ending, or starting simulations have been the tutors, the bosun and Sereth.
Alright. As an action, I'm going to do a thing that comes with my class, which is the Horizon Walker Ranger. And that is to detect portal. As an action, you detect at third level, you gain the ability to magically sense the presence of a planar portal. As an action, you detect the distance and direction to the closest planar portal within 1 mile of you. You need to do a short or long rest to use it again.
Within 1 mile.
Yes.
When you activate that ability, it's an ability that you've used on other occasions. You've never felt the ripples of portal energy surrounding you from all directions like you feel in this moment as you open yourself to that awareness. It is the strangest feeling. You can't detect a portal within a mile of you, but it's almost like within the edge of everything that you're detecting, as though there were thousands of portals surrounding you just on the edge of that. It is quite an uncanny feeling.
All right. I think at this point, Estria, would I be able to like kind of focus my attention to see if I can try and find the closest portal and see like how far away that might be?
Yes, there is.
I could do like a check.
There is a possibility to decipher. At the moment, the sensation is overwhelming, but let's see how you can, if you can chew through that with Arcana.
Arcana, okay. Come on, dice. 13 on the dice. Plus 0 is 13.
Yes, you think maybe within several miles there is one closer portal that seems to stand out. Not within the academy, but towards the city, towards the direction of the center of the city that you were able to spy when you flew into the Spelljammer. If you recall, and if I am not mistaken, you do remember seeing a portal in the center of the city where Spelljammers were like arriving and leaving through.
Yes, I believe. Yeah, that sounds familiar. Okay. All right, Esther is gonna kind of like go back to the door and check in the hallway, see if anyone like is there, and the bug hasn't just like not reacted or anything.
So everyone else has come back in the room and they've seen Estria kind of like poking around the door. Do you share any of your sensations with anyone else, or do you keep that to yourself?
I don't even know if she would know how to describe it, so she's just gonna keep it to herself.
Okay. So Estria is most of the poking around is around the door frame of the door, and it's noticeable that Estria is checking things out. Do Ace, Axel, or Dr. Carey make any comments, or does this change anything else you want to do before the medics arrive in the next 2 minutes?
No, I don't think so.
Nah, Axel will just post up outside.
Okay. So the medical crew arrives. Some of them head to the other chamber with Sirth. The rest stay with Tardo, who's accompanied by the autognome Mr. Blip, who comes into the simulation chamber and immediately, just as Estria had done, begins scanning everything. The medics come in and bandage the burns that you have suffered. And within about 10 minutes or so, Mr. Blip's investigations lead him to the door frame where Estria was checking things out. And little short gnome-sized fellow that he is, and Estria being the closest to the door, Mr. Blip says, do you see that shiny thing jammed in the door frame there, young bird?
Do I see that?
When it's being pointed out to you, you do in fact see something metallic jammed into where the door joins, and it actually is the focal point, now that you notice it, of the rippling burned lines of electricity.
Well,
I
now
can't
that you
quite
mention it,
reach it myself. Could you fetch it for me?
I sure can, but I sure hope it ain't gonna discharge again. She's gonna reach up and kind of like poke it with like feathers, essentially, just to see like, hey, is this like live?
There is no spark.
Okay, and she's gonna take it off of whatever device is holding it onto the door frame and inspect it as she hands it over to Mr. Blip, just like a quick inspection.
Okay. Your quick inspection reveals a small metallic object, which was what was jammed into the door frame. Mr. Blip scowls. It's a funny thing to see, these metallic eyebrows come down into a almost humanoid, genuine, not construct expression that you can absolutely relate to. And he immediately just heads over to where Bosun Tardo is directing the medical team. And you hear Mr. Blip say, "Does this look familiar to you, Bosun Tardo?" Tardo takes the piece of metal and he says a name. Vokath. She says a name, sorry. I should have suspected. It appears the Mercane's grudge against Mert has become a vendetta. The old wolf must be told. And she storms out of the room.
Did like my shocking malfunction thing cause any kind of potential memory to jiggle loose about that name?
Absolutely. Make a history check.
Okay. History, there it is. All right, here we go. That is a 6.
The name Vocath means nothing to you. There is an echo there of this word mentioned. It appears that the Mercane's grudge, and you're kind of banging it around, going Mercane, Mercane. You think that might be some sort of organization, some type of trade organization, but it's not quite there. Again, there's something that the parts aren't connecting properly. It feels like that's something you would know, that you should know, but it's on the tip of your brain.
I see. Okay. Esther is gonna note all of that for later usage.
After you get patched up, you can go ahead and spend any hit dice that you want for a short rest.
That seems like a good idea.
But our wounds don't go away when they patched us?
The patching allows you to spend your hit dice. This is the process of the short rest. It's first aid as opposed to.
Oh, and then I get that, of course.
I'll stick with that.
Dr. Curry does have one level of exhaustion from his unconscious state.
No.
Do I know where to mark that? Figured I guess I already turned on a piece of paper.
That's probably best. We probably.
I'm also gonna eat my good berry real quick.
Okay.
Sorry.
Mr. Blip's recommendation is you head back to your cadets' quarters and take it easy for the rest of the day. And he seems to be ushering everyone out of the room.
Esther is not going to resist and is just going to kind of casually walk out and say, "You all go ahead. I'm going to head over and do some training." And Esther is going to head towards... Is there like a library that she knows of?
The library that you saw was on the Spelljammer Nexus area, where you trained with the mini Spelljammers with Sereth.
Okay.
You do see Sereth hear his voice anyway, talking from down the hall with the other group of people. So perhaps it occurs to you that speaking to him might provide you access to the library that you walked past in the rooms that he seemed to be in charge of.
Yeah, I will do that. I will approach Sereth and say, "Excuse me, partner, but would you mind terribly if I did some light reading in the library?"
Oh, commendable. Of course not. Yes, certainly. The password of the day is Wuthers. One of my favorite authors. Yes, Wuthers. You probably have enjoyed some of his manuscripts on celestial alignment.
To be honest, I haven't partaken in his work. I more dabble in fiction, if you get my drift.
Oh, well, I can highly recommend Wuthers.
I will take that recommendation. Thank you. And with that, she's going to depart.
Okay, so you're headed to the Nexus. What's everyone else doing?
Axel's going to help Zoe back to the bunks. He's going to see he's still hurt and everything. He's going to help him back.
Upon reaching the bunk bed, he kind of hits the bed kind of hard, and you can see that his eyes are drooping, and he quickly falls asleep.
He puts the blanket on him.
Aww.
Pulls it up.
He's just a tired little boy.
I would go back to the bugs too.
Yeah.
Just be kind of still shaking with excitement about everything that happened, but not really knowing what to do. So kind of bouncing around in there.
Okay. And where would Dr. Carey head?
Yeah, no, I'm staggering along behind. I'm still, you can see her sort of waiting if she wants to eat her good berry or not, but she's decided to save them. I'm going to be honest. I think Carrie was distracted. She follows the rest of the group, but partly it's because she's distracted by the gnome. She's never seen these sort of robotic things before, so when it was talking, she was sort of leaning in. She really wants to know as the gnome's eyebrows are moving up and down, do they make little like 1980s robot like bzz, bzz, bzz? Can you hear the whirring sounds of the robot gnomes?
Yes, you can detect.
All right.
Not only his eyebrows, but all of the other subtle movements do seem to be accompanied with cute little sounds like that.
So Carrie, she's leaning closer and closer and in and looking at him. She's sort of torn away as she's doing that.
Mr. Blip says, well, this is getting uncomfortable, isn't it?
It's moving like that. I need to go.
What would Estria like to do as the mention of the word Wuthers gives you access to the library?
So when she mentions Wuthers to, I'm assuming the
librarian on duty.
the
The librarian on duty is the first person that challenges Estria if they have an appointment.
I don't have an appointment necessarily, but I do believe the password of the day is Wuthers.
Research. Go ahead, yeah.
Thank you kindly. Tell me, could you point me in the direction of economics? I'm looking to brush up on my business sense.
Not a popular section within the library. We mostly deal with charts and navigation and star systems and realm space, wild space, the ether, portals, astral sea. Any of that of interest to you?
It could be. I'm perhaps looking for a list of trade organizations, if you might have that, perhaps.
Organizations, of course, because, yes, there are known organizations. Is there a organization in particular you seek?
No, I would just like a comprehensive list, if you happen to have that on hand.
In which realm in particular?
You know what? I may come back at some point, but for today, let's go with the wild space realm, see if there's anything out here.
Oh, okay. I see. Sure. Come with me. And
Thank you.
she takes you to a section, and it's more like a log of known associations and political factions known to operate in a cohesive way within the different pockets of the astral sea and wild space. And you have that at your disposition. This should do you nicely.
Thank you kindly. So first thing she's going to look for is the word Mercane.
There is an entry for the Mercane. And
Okay.
there seems to be a sketch painted in watercolors, which depicts Spelljammer throne is painted there. And they seem to be, from what you can immediately gather from what's written in the book, an association of, or a guild of some sort that dedicates themselves to actually making the spell jamming helms. Seems to be their major business operation, although they do seem to have some other entries related to other creative enterprises of magical nature. And from one of the comments, you can see that they seem to be the major supplier of the agency's spelljamming thrones. So they seem to be an important business partner of the INC agency.
Interesting. She's going to continue to basically look and see, like, if there's any associations that these people might have with chaos.
There are some later marks of the last entry marks where there is some comments that seem to be frowning upon their neutrality in their business dealings.
Okay. Esther is going to make a mental note of that.
The comment seems to be, they always put money before morals.
Typical. Absolutely typical.
Okay. With that information, Esther is going to kind of close that part and kind of glance around to see if there's anything quickly of note that she could just kind of peruse for a few minutes.
What kind of thing? It's a extensive library. Is there something of particular interest to her that she's seeking out? Being in this area of books, maybe more to do with organizations or political relationships of the library within different realms?
I'm actually going to go rogue and say, is there anything on, like, spelljamming throne production?
There is a small tome dedicated to spelljamming thrones. Make an investigation check for me as you try to read through that quickly.
All right. $13.
From what you can gather, the INC agency have been able to reproduce minor helms, but the ability to create major helms, which seem to allow spelljamming ships to move at even greater speeds with even greater maneuverability, seems to be a secret, a closely guarded secret of the Mercane.
Interesting.
And from what you can gather, there have been attempts to retrieve this information on the part of INC, but unsuccessful.
No surprise there. Okay. Yeah, Estria is just gonna kind of like absent-mindedly like browse through some books to just like kill some time, basically, and then she's gonna walk out or put everything back where she found it, obviously, and then walk out, say thank you kindly to the librarian, and head on back to the quarters and see if anyone's awake at this point.
You arrive just as a messenger arrives back at the cadets' quarters, who signals to the four of you, kind of looks at Ximenius and, you're gonna need to wake him up. Just meet me at the bar. And leaves the room. You know that there's like a social area within the cadets' quarters which is very loud and noisy and filled with rowdiness. And that seems to be where the person's who's this messenger of some sort seems to be indicating you should go.
Were they speaking to us all at once, or one of us?
They signaled to the four of you, looked at Ximenius asleep, and kind of said, "You need to wake him up." And
I was taking a nap. All right. shakes him. Oh, well, I guess he's got his own fancy room, so I guess I have to tiptoe secretly into his sweet space. Get up!
I'll just run and jump on his bed. Sob! We get to go party. Come on. I want to be up for this.
Sluggishly complaining as an unrested noble only can. He will be dragged along with many complaints. Within the rowdy rec room, I guess you'd call it, you see the fellow who has signaled to you to come with him in a corner, sitting at a table with some juice glasses laid out around the table.
These are for us?
Yes, they are for you. But
Yeah, all right.
I have a small bag here. There's a gold cap for each of you. Just drink, sit with me for a while. Don't take the caps now, but once you've left here, I need for you to head up to Mert's room, where he will be waiting for you. He wishes to speak to each of you directly, but does not want it known that you are speaking to him. So act natural, enjoy your drinks, and cheers!
Cheers. Look at my glass. Is this from Mert's special selection? Can I throw it back?
It's
Ah,
yeah. I'm not sure what juice
This
it's.
this isn't liquor.
No, it's from one of the popular plums somewhere nearby. No,
It's
obviously possible.
tasty. It's tasty. I was expecting something else. Never mind.
Stone fruits
Yeah,
give
Axel
me
like
gas.
turned his nose up on it.
So,
Yeah, Axel will turn his nose up at night and just like not even drink it. He'll just like slide it away.
I was also asked on behalf of the bosun to give you your report card.
Ooh, hey!
He slides over a piece of card. That's what I'm officially doing here. And he hands a little bag. Whoever's closest to him, he kind of does it under the table so it can be done while it's looking like he's sliding the card out to hand you over the bag of the gold caps, which will get you into Mert's quarters. Who's taking the caps, taking charge of the sneaky handover?
I'd reach for the report card, so.
I feel like Astria, if she didn't notice Ace trying to do the sneaky bit, would try to do the sneaky bit herself.
Okay. Go ahead and make a stealth check. See if anyone's noticing what's happening over the table.
Can my eagerness to get validation serve as a distraction to give him advantage?
Absolutely.
Axel's just rolling his eyes at Dr. Terry.
Oh shit, I did that wrong. My bad.
One of those is
So
18.
it says we won, right?
So that would be 24.
24. Okay, lovely. You have it tucked away before anyone notices anything's happening here other than a celebratory drink and your grades being given to you. You can read that the score is very good on the report card. The messenger says, I know that the bosun will want to speak to you about leaving behind your fellow INC agents.
I told you!
Your performance was perhaps one of the best we've seen in recent years for a crew as green as yours. Quite remarkable, really. But I think what you must understand is this is not a game, and lives might have been lost. Fellow agents' lives might have been lost if you had handled things like this in real life. So I hope in the future, as you progress with your studies, that rather than a competition, you see it as working together, shall we say, for a common goal. Whether there is rivalries or not between companies, we never leave anyone behind. Well, good talk. And the messenger stands up and leaves you to your own devices there at the table where you're drinking your, or not drinking your juice.
Once he's out of range and it's fairly clear that no one's like really paying attention to us anymore, I'm gonna start talking softly to the group and just mention basically what I found, that these Mercane guys are basically the top manufacturers of the best quality spelljamming thrones, and not only do they supply all of most of INC's stuff, but they may also play multiple sides with their sales, and they may or may not be trustworthy, to be honest, and there may be something to do with the wolf with them.
But we all agree Ink should be stealing things, right?
Well, I mean, if they are, trying to get an edge on someone who's a bit unscrupulous, maybe a bit of unscrupulousness could be acceptable. However, questionable it might be still.
What some people call stealing, others might call it's all perspective. And Saul does seem to be the right. He wanted to see us. So maybe he has an angle on this.
I suppose we play it cool for now and not tell him anything that we know about this so far. And if I see an opportunity, I will bring it up. And I want each of you to pay close attention to him. I want to see if he has a tale of some sort. We need to know if we can trust this guy, if we're going to be working for him. Can I count on y'all?
Axel will give him a nod and a wink.
You can count on me.
No.
All right.
Do want to make sure we know things.
All right, then. And with that, Esther is going to knock back her juice and say, "Stone fruits don't actually give me gas," and stand up.
Estria seems to be heading out of the rec room. Are you heading to Mert's room or somewhere else?
That was my plan, yeah. I'll mention that as well, saying like, y'all can come with me if you want. I'm gonna head up there.
Yeah, I follow.
Axel will follow too.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you head up towards the upper levels where you took the crate, you're confronted by the guards who demand you be wearing a gold cap to go any further back towards Mert's room. Within the bag, there were gold caps which you could have donned, or you can now don.
I will now don them, and ideally pass them out if I haven't already.
Okay. At which, seeing that, they stand aside, like they weren't expecting you to have the caps quite clearly on their face, but they see the caps and don't question, and they move aside for you. Within Mert's room, he's kind of standing what would be off to the side near this 3D table that you never got a really good look at, kind of like a 3D topographic map, and he signals that you should come in, asks you to close the door behind you. And when you come to stand next to him, you can see that the topographical map looks like this incredible 3D map of what might be some world from a bird's eye view. There seem to be like little moving parts, like little tiny soldiers or things like horses or with pulling chariots, kind of like moving around the map and things like that. But he doesn't seem very interested in the map, although it is a curious spectacle. He thanks you and says, "I'm glad that you are well. Sorry that you were hurt or put in danger today. I'm afraid foul things are afoot within the Academy. INC's enemies move against us. My associates believe that the recent chaotic events are related to a personal vendetta against me. I'm not so sure. I think that may be a smokescreen to cover something larger, something much more concerning. I cannot convey with enough gravity how private this conversation must remain. I'm going on a limb to trust the five of you. I actually asked for your files to be brought to me. Files detailing your selection. Files detailing the reason you were brought into the Corps, and files related to your transfer into your current job. Curiously, these files were destroyed along with all recent recruit files in last night's fires down below. And he kind of dumps this hard, half-burned crate with, you can see all these burned papers completely unusable within them. This will take days, if not weeks, to repair, if it's even possible. You are officially a mystery. Yet...
Do you think this is intentional?
Yes. Yes, this is no accident.
I would have to agree.
Is there any other groups besides us that are as fresh, as new?
Not as fresh as you. There are groups that are new, but none as fresh as you. And that is why I have asked you to come here for that very reason. Your freshness is the reason I'm gambling on you. That there's no way I am hoping that you can be involved in any way, shape, or form in these recent events. I cannot say the same for anyone else within the Academy, not even my most trusted advisors. This is quite the predicament. But while I hope you can help me unravel this web being spun about the Academy, I would like to ask you to tell me, as briefly as possible, why you believe INC chose you to serve the celestial bureaucracy, and tell me how you feel about serving to maintain the very stability of reality itself, for as INC agents, that will be your task.
Esther's going to kind of like let the others go first, because she kind of wants to turn things around on them, essentially. She's going to kind of like nudge whoever's closest to her, I guess.
Choose. Who did you nudge in the back?
I'm going to choose Dr. Carey, because I feel like that's the most comedic.
I apparently I've been working for you all along. My chancellor, he just thought I was doing right. He thought I was doing a good job. That's why I was selected. I had nothing to do with it. Also, I didn't realize that preserving stability is what you do. I don't know that I am qualified for that. I preserved my own world, but I know all about my world. What do I know about this place out here?
Ah, you preserved your own world. I see. Well, that's quite something, and obviously your Chancellor saw something in you. If you were working for INC all along, are you suggesting that the Chancellor was an INC agent?
That was... Yes. I do believe that.
Curious. I see. So someone trusted, selected you, handpicked you. You should trust yourself more then.
Maybe. It's also possible he just didn't want me to be died in the horrible accident that was coming for me, but I'll think about what you said.
Oh? A horrible accident coming for you?
Well, you know, we were dropped off the ice and dove this way and that, and they're coming from all sides.
It sounds
He's
like
going to be
an
gone from
interesting
there.
story I would like to hear sometime. But let's keep this brief. And Axel, Ace, Estria, what of the three of you?
I honestly don't know why you brought me here. I didn't save anything. I was ready to burn my world to the ground. And I'm even thinking about burning this place to the ground too. You've literally stopped me from my mission. And that's to get back to my loved one. You are in my way, but I have no idea how to get out. So I need you for...
I see. Well, tell us how you really feel, as my grandmother would say.
I think you're a shite organization. No wonder you're getting attacked.
Okay, well, I was joking about the telling how you really felt. But, thank you for sharing.
I don't exactly know why I'm here either. What I remember from before, Hook was making demands, as usual. And then Wendy appeared on his boat, and there was all these fake creatures that came in, and the sky opened up just as we were about to fight, and then all these ships came in and threw some black crystals down. Everybody got taken away. There's just started falling down. I'm not sure. I didn't do any great works. I was about to kill Hook, but I was stopped from that.
Why were you about to kill this Hook? As you
Oh, he was splitting out the Lost Boys. He was demanding allegiance.
This was your gang?
Yeah, it was a family more than a gang, but yeah, it was my crew. He turned pockets against us. He was going to cut off his hand.
You were
The
defending
crocodile
your
was gonna eat
family
his hand.
then. I see.
Yeah, and the sky opened up.
Do you two think my agency is a piece of shit?
No, you guys seem good enough story. There's obviously some problems going on. I don't know. It's not my place to say, but from what I can tell, you mean well. Fight pirates, right? That's what I know. That's what I'm good at.
Well, usually a bit below our pay grade, but
There's nothing wrong with killing pirates. It's pretty excellent.
Estria?
Esther is going to kind of look at him, and she's going to give him like a very steely gaze, like, all right, I got something on you, and I know stuff, so let's tango here. And she's going to start with, so you've been asking us a lot of questions, and to be fair, we are also putting a lot of trust in you, hoping that you aren't planning something and using us as scapegoats, for instance. So I think it's only fair that you answer some of my questions before I answer yours. And I do promise I will answer yours as truthfully as I am able.
I will answer your questions. However, answer mine first, and I will decide if you remain in the room. For example, Axel, if you could find your way to the door, please. Leave your gold cap with the guards. Thank you.
No problem. He turns around and walks out and just cap to the guards.
So you were saying, Estria, how would you describe why you were brought into the academy and your feelings about it? Do you too think it's a shit agency?
To be fair, I don't have a very high opinion of most high-level organizations. However, that does not mean I think it's a piece of shit, if you will. I do believe that some of your morals are questionable, but that could be said of many people. There is a lot of gray areas, I do believe. As to how I came here, suffice it to say, I was tricked by a former colleague of yours in my occupation as a bounty hunter, which I will clarify, I was doing only to survive. It was the only thing I knew how to do. And I ended up in your jails as some of your boys were busting one of your jailers.
There's an emotion that ripples across his face as you say that, which he quickly tries to return to like a poker face. The three of you that are in the room can make an insight check on what you just saw.
Certainly will.
Net 20!
Oh, nice.
Which is a 24.
15.
It's not good.
Ace isn't quick enough to snatch what it was. You do notice that he had a strange look on his face, like, something doesn't add up here. But Dr. Carey, and even more so Estria, read that as almost disbelief, like, wait, what the heck? And his body almost like jerks around for a moment to look as Axel's heading out towards the door, and looks back at you like he's putting two and two together, and you're not sure what it is, but there's something going on inside of his head that he seemed very worried about, like instant concern.
All right. Esther is gonna instantly say, now, I know how that may look given present company. However, I promise you I have never met these individuals prior to coming to this place. And I promise you, I have no animosity towards your organization. As I said, my previous occupation was one simply of convenience and ability to do so.
Are you being honest, or are you pulling the wool over his eyes here?
No, I'm being honest, I would say. Esther wasn't like, she enjoyed like, you know, the task of bounty hunting, like, you know, tracking something, figuring out its movements, its patterns, like that kind of thing. She really wasn't a huge fan of killing things. But, you know, it was her job and she had to survive. So she would kill.
Okay. You can see his eyes, like, you can tell that he's right on the point of like sending you right after Axel. Like, you can see like grave doubts in his mind, but I'm going to give you a chance to persuade him. So because you're being genuine, I'm going to give you advantage on the check here.
Okay. Do I roll it first, or do you want me to say things first?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. I'll
okay.
Let's say that will depend on the DC on what you say.
Okay. In my previous occupation, I did engage with some of your boys and girls, but as I said, wasn't my ideal situation. I merely was taking the jobs that were available to me in order to keep myself alive. I'm sure you can understand and respect that. With regards to my former employers, I have no real ties outside of one individual who might owe me a favor that I could use in the future, if you catch my drift. But as to who that individual is at this time, I don't exactly remember, seeing as how my memory's still a little bit fuzzy from the transitioning process. But if I do remember the name, I give you my word that I will get that name to you discreetly.
All right. Let's, you can still see the doubt in his eyes, but let's make it a 14. If you can get a 14, he's going to let you stay.
Okay. Persuasion, right?
Yep, but with advantage.
Oh, right. That's a dirty 20, but I'll roll again just to see. That is a dirty 19.
As I said, I will take all the allies I can get, and if I have to roll the dice, why not? Why not with you?
I appreciate that.
He opens some doors out onto a balcony and walks out onto a balcony and asks you to join him.
Astral will lean against the door frame.
So, as we're moving, Carrie sort of looks back to see Axel leaving. I mean, Zome is here. Did he get the same?
Sorry.
Did he? You don't have to tell the story, but I wanted, like, did Zominius do the same thing, and what was Mert's response to his? Was he also he clearly he does not like these other stories, but what does he think about Zome's? What's his reaction there?
He has listened to Zominius' story and allowed Zominius to stay. Yes.
Okay.
I'd definitely step out on the balcony with.
I mean, I was leaning on the door frame of the balcony, I should clarify. Sorry.
Yes,
Ace looks out across the city for the second time. Dr. Carrie's seeing it for the first time. This impressive...
Trying to see that. Yeah, trying to see that portal again.
Yes, this impressive city built on the back of the Spelljammer. And the impossibly tall spire that disappears up beyond any ability to see any further, but you can tell it just continues going up and up and up where the Spelljammer is parked up next to. And directly at that spire, Mert points across to it and says, "That is the infinite spire, the center of the multiverse. Atop it rests Sigil, the city of doors, the cage, the central knot that binds all realms in place. Rumors say it now spins out of control, in danger of falling. Others fear it has fallen already, and the center of the multiverse is no more. Whatever the truth, our reality is in danger. And while the gods bicker and argue what they should do, we, their faithful servants of the celestial bureaucracy, do our best to aid them out there where boots on the floor are needed. Over here at the Academy, alas, we are the lowest rung in the chain of INC's command, and so we are the last to know anything important. But our benefactor, the benefactor of the Academy, plays by his own rules and has given us agency to act when we see there is a need. So I'm recruiting you in his name. Desperate times require desperate measures, and I apologize for any future inconveniences this might cause you, but not really, because this matters more. Our existence teeters in the balance, and we are overlooking something, missing something, some detail. And I believe that the events that have occurred over the last few days may seem small, but it's a thread. A thread that if we can grasp and pull at, perhaps the bigger things will unravel themselves and reveal themselves. To me, it seems that someone wants us out of the way. Unable to replenish our agents throughout the multiverse, at least, we pose a threat to their plans somehow, and they seek to destroy us from within. We don't know who that is, or why exactly we pose a threat to them. As I mentioned, you're the only ones here who were not here when the first thefts occurred, making you the only ones free from suspicion. So I'm sending you on a mission tomorrow to flush out the saboteurs, to learn their identity. But more importantly, I need you to win their trust. Have yourselves taken into the bosom of their plans, and learn everything you can about what is going on. This is your true assignment. Everything else you were told about tomorrow's mission is bait. Now, I understand you have yet to fully integrate into your new jar. Your animus is still going through this process, and it's a lengthy process, but we're running out of time. So, in the deep end you must go. For this reason, a staff member, the one who I feel I can trust the most, will be sent along to supervise and make sure that nothing prevents you and the other recruits from completing your mission. That staff member is Winston Ryback, the quartermaster. If you have any issues, speak with him discreetly. I do truly believe he would not have stolen his own heirloom rifle, not even to free himself from suspicion. So I believe that he is trustworthy. Now, for all intents and purposes, your studies have concluded. I'm sorry they were so brief. The field mission you're being sent on tomorrow, I hope, will flush out our spy. It will be framed as an urgent field graduation exam. Once it is concluded, you will be promoted from cadets to full agents of the Interdimensional Normalization Corps. But going out into the field, albeit as a cadets, it is not appropriate to go in red onesies. So, my inquiries report that the entry clothes requisitioned from your jars were also damaged beyond repair in the same fires that destroyed your files. As a token of my thanks for your cooperation, please come with me and step into my wardrobe. He heads in from the balcony over towards the wardrobe that when the door is ajar, there's just this golden light pouring from it. Envision yourself as you would like to appear, and you will be so dressed. Although wearing a red tie of some nature is obligatory while you are still cadets. So, that is the only caveat. But wear whatever suits you.
When he finishes his spiel, essentially, Estria is gonna kind of look at him and say, all right, so essentially, you want us to go into the lion's den and attempt to flush out whoever's trying to bring down the universe. And we only have your word to go on that things are copacetic. I would like to ask you a couple questions, if I may, and if that's all right with you, I will give you a question you can ask me as well.
This seems reasonable. Go ahead.
Okay. My first question would be, what is your real connection with these Mercanes? And if there is anyone who knows about this, would they be inclined to join them? Or side with them at the very least?
Well, the Mercanes provide the Academy and the agency itself with the spelljamming thrones required to power our most powerful spelljamming vessels. And they are unscrupulous within their dealings. They trade not only with us, but other reprehensible sorts, such as the beholders and the mind flayers, who are known slave traders, something that I find reprehensible to the core. Now, I made this known with a certain Mercane that me and my partner had a falling out with, and my partner might have laid hands on him, and this might have resulted in him being ejected from INC, so to speak. Something that led me to my assignment here as a mere instructor. This fellow, I believe, continues to hold this personal grudge against me and my partner, and maybe seeks a personal retribution. Yet I cannot get rid of the feeling that there's more to it than that. I don't feel that this is about me. It feels like that's a convenient excuse. I don't understand how you, a bounty hunter, have found yourself recruited in the ranks of the core. That is not a normal procedure. That your Leonin fellow seems rather out of sorts, not the kind of fellow who would be recruited into our ranks when we are all about stability and all he wants to do is blow up the world. This doesn't add up. Something's gone on here. I think these events might be related, but I don't have any proof. It's just a gut feeling. I wish I knew, but if I can find a place to start, maybe we can make sense of it.
So, if you don't mind, I actually have a thought coming together here, and I would like to share it with the group as I progress with it so that I may cohesively understand it better. These files, and she's going to point to the burnt files that were tossed her out. They are for the current recruits in this organization, yes?
All the current recruits' files have been destroyed.
Well, that would seem to me that someone wants to cover up that someone else has infiltrated. Now, it could be one or the other organization that you might be referring to as nefarious, but now that you have mentioned that you had a falling out with these Mercanes and unfortunately lost your partner, my feeling is this. Perhaps the Mercanes have recruited your former partner somehow and are convincing him that it was really your fault that he lost everything, and they promised him something very dear to him, to enlist his help. And he is either here or has someone he knows can get a job done here, hidden amongst the recruits in probably a new body. My gut tells me this is just a stepping stone to try and take down this organization from within, but I have nothing to prove that yet. Only your gut feeling that something else is going on. And I would imagine that taking down the instructor of the training facility of a very powerful interdimensional organization would be a pretty good way to start. It would give them access to their recruitment pool, allowing them to put who they want in, among many other things.
That's a terrifying thought. I hate to even contemplate that my partner might turn against me. But perhaps it is worth consideration, as I do not know who my enemies are, and I might well be surrounded. It is a thread I will follow up on. Thank you for bringing the idea to my attention. You've already proven yourself valuable.
You're quite welcome. And my second question will be brief. Do you actually trust anyone outside of this room right now?
Ryback. I trust Ryback.
Is that trust implicit? Would you stake not only your life, but everyone else's life within this organization, possibly the universe as a whole, on that trust?
Yes.
Very well then. If I need to contact you about my contact, I will trust Ryback, given the situation we are in.
I want to say that, given the grave threat to their life today, Seth and Bosun Tarto are likely trustworthy too, but I would not put my hand in the fire, because that could be a diversion as well.
I would also say that perhaps they have been utilized somehow to act as a double agent, with or without their knowledge is up to the gods at this point. And it could be that they don't know anything and they're not involved, but I would say do your best to not trust anyone at this point.
That is the attitude that each of you here in this room should also take. Trust each other, but no one else. And be careful what you tell your feisty friend.
Understood.
I trust him with my life. He pulled me out of wild space, but I'll take it under consideration.
Well, there's more at stake than just our lives. Do you have any other questions before you dress yourself? All right, so I'm going to ask each of you to decide how you're going to dress your character.
No one wants to jump in. I guess I'm jumping in again. Yeah, I saw Carrie. Yeah, sure. And she had her Carrie had her eye on this warrior last with the bug fight, so she's definitely interested in sort of checking it out and walking sort of slowly. And she saw that it was magic. I guess she thought it was magic last time, and so she sort of understands that this is an interesting thing she wants to investigate. So she'll step in. We're wearing these like action suit onesies right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she just she wants to dress like a human being. Like she doesn't have her fancy armor, she doesn't have anything, so she just wants to wear just simple clothing. So she steps in, and she just wants to be wearing sort of nice, clean linen clothes, sort of a vest, sort of white, sharp, starched collar, undershirt, or sleeves, just sort of simple or linen trousers, just very sort of dark, simple, the kind of thing that you would put on when you don't want to think about what you're putting on, and that'll last you 16 hours of the day. So she steps out sort of very just sort of crisply dressed, but with no ornament really, no armor, no sigils, no nothing. It's very plain and businesslike.
When you step out without a tie,
Nope.
Mert kind of shakes his head and says, "The red tie of some sort is obligatory. I'm sorry. You'll have to go back and get the tie."
I suppose can we can loosen the tie later on, right?
Yeah, the loose tie is...
Okay, all right, that's fine. So she steps in. It's like we're enveloped in a light and no one can see us when we're in this glowing thing. So
Yes.
she vanishes in, and as she's vanishing, as she sort of steps back out, she's got. I mean, she's wearing her nice tight her collar, so it's designed for a tie, but she's already sort of scrunching it down as she's walking. That's how she steps out of the light, just scrunching a tie down from her neck.
Okay.
I'll go. So, Ace, I just started doing the jumpsuit right there. Like we just walk in and it makes it. Take off my jumpsuit, let it fall, step into the
magic
wood.
kind of swirls around you, and you feel like you don't even have to do it. You're like they're just
Oh no, I was
being
fully doing it
undressed
before.
and dressed and
Before.
magically.
I was fully doing it before walking in.
Oh, okay.
and then I step in.
Mercy,
right
that's not.
in his
That's not. No, never mind.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he's seen yours, to be fair.
Pop back out. That's true. That's true. Pop back in, and I'm envisioning just some impeccable black leather, everything. It's like a long coat, silken billow, and I can look pretty cool. Like shirts with a vest too. It probably has blue highlights on the designs. Leather pants, tall boots, everything dark though, very roguish, and tricorn hat, no feather, because that's kind of played out. Come on, and then he's about to step out and remembers the red, and the red tie materializes. He hasn't really ever seen a tie per se before, maybe like a cravat or something like that, but.
If you imagine a cravat, it will take the form of a cravat instead.
Okay, it probably does that at first, yeah. And then he remembered the one that Carrie had. He's like, no, this feels better. And he's going to leave that in, kind of tucked into the vest. Step out.
Nice.
Aha!
Estria is gonna kind of look at the orb and be like, I guess that's a thing, and just step into it. And when she steps out, like a couple minutes later, she is basically in like a classic cowboy getup, except for the cowboy hat, like duster that is like a little bit worn, bandolier with all like the cartridges for her ammo, gun holstered around her back, and basically just like mottled dark brown, dark gray, like clothing all over. And the red tie is kind of like wrapped around her neck, kind of like a scarf almost.
Nice. Okay. As Estria exits, Mert heads into the wardrobe for a moment and comes out with a small pile of folded clothes. He kind of shrugs and says, "This might be a little small for your friend," after Zemenius goes in and dresses himself, and comes out looking magnificent. For the feisty leonine friend of yours. Might be small. It's going to be small. It is.
That's not a loincloth, is it?
It might be at this point.
it's practical. Let's say that.
True enough.
Okay, so he wishes you luck. I have faith that this has been the right decision, trusting you with this. I wish you the best, and again, I apologize for any inconveniences that this will lead to in the future.
Just know, this may go off the deep end at some point, and we may have to jump before we're ready.
You will have my support, and you will have my benefactor's support.
Understood.
Sounds exciting.
Okay. You have a reputation score now as a +1 modifier with Mert, the three of you. Axel, unfortunately, has a -1 modifier.
Nice. Sweet.
So that will be in any of your interactions with him moving forward. The rest of your evening seems to pass fairly quickly, and the events of the day weigh on you as you settle in. The clothes provided to Axel are very basic, common clothes that only like reach up to here on your arms, and the same on your legs. So you can choose between those kind of common, uninspiring clothes or your red jumpsuit.
He's just going to, he'll keep the common clothes, but he's going to rip off the shirt and just keep the pants and only the pants.
Nice.
That's better than a loincloth. Okay.
There is a red tie there as well, though.
He takes it and he wraps it around his forehead like a bandana instead.
That's a good look. That's a good look.
Nice.
Good move.
Nice. Is there anything you guys want to do before the day passes and we move to tomorrow?
I think Astria, given like the amount of information she's just processed and like been given right now, she's not gonna be able to really sleep, so she's just gonna try and tire herself out by going to the gym.
Okay, so we can work through that off screen.
Yeah.
Is anyone else wanting to do anything similar? Dr. Carey, is that of any interest to you? Going to the gym with Astria? You're muted, sorry.
No. I've already had enough. I've already been blown up 5. I can't do that again. Absolutely not.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Lovely. So we're going to take a 5-minute break now, and we'll be back after the break.
Sweet.
Great.
Well, all right.